Yo, I know you all clicked on this video just to find out which games are expected to blow up this year. But before we start, can I simply ask you a little thing? Just to drop a like on this video and click that subscribe button. It will really help my relaunch of the channel. Well, I know you already did it, so let's start this and let's look what is actually waiting for us this amazing year. And I want to open this list with one of my favorite games that is actually getting kind of a spin-off, Back 4 Blood. It is going to expectedly be released on June 22nd. It's going to be developed by the Turtle Rock Studio and is going to be available for the Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4, Xbox One and the PC, basically for next and past gen consoles. Valve maybe not be having been able to get it act together to make a new Left 4 Dead game, but the developer behind the best-selling franchises is a spiritual successor in works. Just like Left 4 Dead 2, you'll team up with the 3 other players to take on waves of the undead in the missions that change every time you play. There will be also competitive 4v4 mode with one team taking the role of the zombies. We went the hands off with the Back 4 Blood alpha and so far it does play a lot like Left 4 Dead 4 with upgraded graphics, which isn't a bad thing, all if you miss the classic horde shooter. The card system, which bellows and interesting perks, buffs to players and the zombies, does add a bit of variety and unusual formula that makes this a sleeper hit in the streaming world. Expect it on June 22nd and it's going to really blow your mind. The next one we have Chivalry 2. It is still yet to be announced, but it's going to be somewhere middle of this year. It was developed by the Thorn Banner Studios and you're gonna be able to play it on Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4, Xbox One and the PC once again. Past and next gen again and again. Well, we're gonna see a lot of releases this year basically like this, but you know. Chivalry the Medieval Warfare was a huge multiplayer hit on the PC when it was released in 2012. Unfortunately, with the lagging developer support, most of the community moved on to the other games long ago. Now, the Thorn Banner is hoping to bring back players to the sequel, which boasts the next-gen graphics, improved combat and a massive 64 players battles. Needless to say, Chivalry 2 going to be the next big thing in the multiplayer. The game is currently in a closed alpha and a lot of players trying it out. Guys, don't sleep on this game and let's bring back 2012. Next one. And the next one we have on the May 21st, which is the Deathloop. This is the game that is coming in really very soon from now on. It's going to be developed by Arcane Studios. It's going to be available also on PS5, PC and Xbox, maybe later the year. What if you could combine basically the movie Groundhog Day with the Hitman series? It's like there is not gonna be any actual game that's questions before the Deathloop. You play as the Colt, he's an assassin stuck in a time loop on an island in the midst of a party that resets every day. You have to eliminate 8 targets before the midnight and avoid dying yourself, or you'll end up, well, at the beginning of the loop again. This loop also features the multiplayer component that allows players to jump into the game's an assassin named Juliana, who is tasked with taking Colt down before she can complete the mission. This PvP aspect should result in some very interesting playthrough, but we're not stopping on this, we're going to move on. And the next one in the list is Evil Dead, the game. It's still to be announced when it's actually going to be released during this year, but it was developed by the both Team Games and the Saber Interactive together in the cooperation to create this amazing experience that you've seen in the movies. Xbox X, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC and Switch, all of them going to be able to play this game. The Evil Dead movies are considered all-time horror classics, but the success has always eluded the franchise in the world of the video games. But that could be about to change. Announced that the Game Awards, Evil Dead game sees Ash and the friends taking on the waves of deities on the several maps, including the iconic cabin in the woods. Gameplay appears to be similar somewhat to the previous adaptation, World War Z, which was a solid title that nearly couldn't seem to find an audience. But let's all believe that Evil Dead this time going to blow up, and I really believe in it. Let's move on. And now some big titles are coming in. The first one is Far Cry 6. It's still yet to be announced when during this year it's going to be released, but the Ubisoft is telling us it is gonna be 2021. Available both on past-gen and next-gen consoles with Xbox Series X, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Stadia and Luna even. By now, all that we know to expect from Far Cry is you're gonna to hop into the tropical paradise, blow up a bunch of outposts, and methodically take back the land from the big bad guy. After a detour into the American wilderness with Far Cry 5, the next entry in the series heads out to Yara, a fictional Caribbean country that heavily based on Cuba, and with Giancarlo Esposito of Breaking Bad and The Mandalorian fame playing the big bad El Presidente. You know, when we're in some especially obviously awesome villainly. I'm really waiting this game and I hope to see its release this year. And the next one is the Disgaea 6, which is Defiance of Destiny. It's still yet to be announced, but it's going to be released somewhere this year, developed by Nippon Ichi Software, and it's going to be available only on Switch. After a couple of well-received remarks, the first new Disgaea title in more than 5 years should be out in 2021. And are we all excited about this? This time around, the offbeat story focused on Zed, a zombie who attempts to use something called the Super Reincarnation to stop the seemingly invisible god of the destruction, who is slowly destroying all the worlds. While both the PlayStation 4 and Switch are dialed in for Japanese release in January, so far only Switch version has to be announced for the West. So this is why I didn't mention PlayStation basically in the beginning, but we move on. And now the game that I actually wait a lot, the Ghostwire Tokyo. It's another game that's still yet to be announced on the exact date, but we're all really waiting for it. It is developed by the Tango Gameworks and is going to be available to play on both PS5 and PC, well, I'm sorry Microsoft Xbox users. Tango Gameworks has only released 2 titles to date, The Evil Within and its sequel. Anyone who played those games, they can tell developers know horror. With the variety of deformed enemies and mind-bending plot, the Evil Within titles are 2 of the scariest games of the last decade. So the Ghostwire Tokyo is the brand new IP that moves the action to the third person instead of the typical firearms. You'll be able to dispatch ghosts with psychic powers. Expect an extremely creepy experience regardless. I really wait for this game and I'm really gonna be looking for all the info to update you later this year. Well, let's hope it's not going to be postponed. Looking at how long is this video already, I have to mention only one more game in this one, so it's going to be obviously part 2. So guys, if you still haven't subscribed like I asked you in the beginning of the video, please drop that subscribe. It's really going to blow my channel up and it's going to help me a lot. So the last game I want to mention today is going to be God of War Ragnarok. It's another game that is not yet announced on the exact date, but I really hope it's going to be released this year. Santa Monica Studio really working hard for Sony to release it for PS5. Sony has said that almost nothing about the next God of War game except it's coming next year basically. Which is actually this year, because they said it in the previous one. Well, I'm trying to mislead you. Anyway, it's going to be available on PS5 and some people already said it's going to be available on PS4, but I don't want to mention it yet. PS5 100%, 50% for PS4. Anyway, one thing we do know, it is going to be that Ragnarok is the mythical battle leading to the death of the Norse gods. With Kratos' history of decides, it only makes sense that he'll be killing a whole lot of them in the next game. The previous title also hinted a showdown with Thor, the god of the thunder. Well, guys, not the Marvel guy, which should be really pretty epic. And on this note, I wanna leave you with something that is going to be expected in the next one. It's going to be Horizon, it's going to be Rainbow Six and a lot of the different games, but they're all going to be in a part 2. So please, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and in the next part 2 you're going to see more amazing games that wait for us this year. It's going to help really a lot this channel, guys. I don't ask you much, please help me. Like, I'm going to help you later with giveaways. Anyway, thank you for everyone being in this video and I'll see you in the next one.